Now, I also understand that you have been very closely associated with the development of the LCA or the LCA Tejas that we call it today. So, can you just take us through this journey, as far as your involvement with this project is concerned?
My involvement with Tejas started in 1992 when I graduated from the test pilot school and joined the ASTE, which stands for Aircraft and System Testing Establishment, which is located in Bangalore. This is the premier institute of the Indian Air Force, fully focused on flight testing of various aircrafts, helicopters, transport aircraft, fighter aircrafts, all the aircraft which are there in the fleet of the Indian Air Force, and
I
including
see.
aircraft like the SARAS, which is under development. AST is located at the HAL airport in Bangalore. It's commanded by an Air Vice Marshal. Core team of test pilots, flight test engineers, and ground crew, operating as many as 10 or 12 different types of aircrafts year around.
I see.
This will range from the fighter fleet, from the Sukhois to the Mirages and Rafales, Jaguars, everything that the Indian Air Force has is tested by AST. And they are also involved in the Tejas. Tejas at that point in time was just a paper aircraft. There was nothing in 1992. There was nothing other than money had been sanctioned, and the thoughts of what that aircraft should be had been thought about. And since uh, we were graduates from the test pilot school, we were directed by the AST and their headquarters to sit in various meetings and then set about briefing and informing the designers of the aircraft as to what we want from that aircraft, primarily from the point of view of man-machine interface, so that we built an aircraft which would meet the piloting requirements, and we're focused towards that. At this point in time, we were just two or three of us involved in this program, and gradually over the 7 years that I was involved in this program, that aircraft shaped up. We were very actively involved in the cockpit design. We were involved in the flight control law design, which is the most, how would I put it, difficult thing, because we had never done it before. We had made various aircrafts, but we had never got into flight control design of a fly-by-wire aircraft. In this case, we were making a fully fly-by-wire aircraft, which was unstable, and it had quadruplex digital system, very complex, extremely technologically intensive, and all of this had to be done in India, and we were doing it for the very first time with people who had never done it before. And therein lies the challenge. Neither us as in the test flying community nor the designers in the technical community were aware of how to do it before. And therefore, the fact is that despite all these challenges, we finally flew the Tejas way back in 2001. And from that day to this date, we are now here in 2022. That is about 21 years of testing as well as induction of the LCA in combat. We have never lost an aircraft to date.
Oh, that's a
It's
uh,
a record of sorts, which
fantastic
finally we
record. Yes.
witness. Yes, and that I think so speaks volume of what we, as the testing community, as well as the designers, have achieved. Here was a single engine aircraft with a quadruplex digital fly-by-wire, which to date has yet to have a hull loss. I I think this is an unparalleled achievement, and which we have to be very proud about. And it's come because of team effort. It has come because of, despite being done for the first time in our lives, that we achieve such a feat is, I think so, mind blowing and awesome.
Absolutely. Kudos to all the professionals involved. Very highly professional, I would say, approach and performance. So now that we have seen the LCA, and you said this was the first fly-by-wire aircraft produced by the HAL. Which was the first fly-by-wire aircraft inducted into the Air Force?
The first fly-by-wire inducted into the Air Force was the Mirage 2000.
Mirage 2000.
That's
Okay.
right. And probably we being deputed into the LCA program was because of that lineage. We were fly-by-wire we were knowledgeable about fly-by-wire
Okay.
as fighter pilots, and we were like we were aware of the intricacies of that system. And now that we were moving from an analog system which was there on the Mirage 2000 to a digital system which was there on the LCA, it was like a step upwards. And in terms of complexity, it now meant that we were having two things to worry about, the hardware as well as the software, which in an analog system was fully hardware based.
I see.
Therefore, there was this new challenge.
So, was there any, did you try out, different aircraft? Did you fly different aircrafts of other countries? Did you have a chance to visit some other countries during the course of this, development of LCA?
Yes, because we were doing it for the first time, we were very, very focused on what we were doing, and we took help from other countries. For example, the LCA software for developing the control laws and the LCA hardware for the fly-by-wire system were in collaboration with Lockheed Martin, a company called LMCS, Lockheed Martin Control Systems, which was based in the New York State in the United States. We collaborated with them. In the control law side, we collaborated with British Aerospace, who provided us some sort of an audit and oversight on what we were doing. There a lot of hand-holding involved, because primarily because we didn't have knowledge, we didn't have empirical ideas of how to move forward. And with these two, that is Lockheed Martin Control Systems on one end and British Aerospace for the control law, we did move forward. Unfortunately for us, in 1998, we were sanctioned after the explosions at Prochrane, the nuclear explosions at Prochrane. And thus, we were now left to field for ourselves, totally. Our people were sent back, and therefore there was this, hiatus on any help from the Western world. And we had to do it from that point on time onwards, all by ourselves. But before that, we did get a lot of help. We included this, we did variable stability testing of the LCA control laws to see how it would actually feel like in a simulation in the United Kingdom as well as in the United States. We flew this in an aircraft called the NT-33 and also the Vista F-16, which were variable stability aircrafts. So the control law of the LCA, the sort of various functions of it, were ported onto the variable stability aircraft, where we could now evaluate it with the safety being provided of the actual aircraft's control laws. So our own control laws were sort of tweaked and improved to make it as good as we possibly could. Let me tell you something. When we flew the LCA control laws on the F-16, we found the F-16 was easier to fly with our control laws than the F-16's original control laws.
I see.
To that extent, I think our designers were getting it right and probably doing the right things. And we did all sorts of testing. We did testing to take the control law to its very limits, to prove its robustness and its flexibility to deal with problems. We did failure testing, we did abnormal configuration testing, we did everything which we possibly could think of. Under the guidance of the experts there, who were very knowledgeable. They had designed the F-16 in the past and 20 years plus of fly-by-wire experience, where we were actually novices at that point in time.
But now that we have come so far, I think that speaks volumes about our technical expertise as well as flying expertise or testing expertise. So I think that's a wonderful account of the LCA development. Now, as we know that yes, technology is improving at a very rapid pace. What can the Indian fighter pilots expect in the future? You have seen your life or your journey of a Maverick, HT2 till F-16 and the LCA and what have you. What can the future fighter pilots expect?
As far as flying is concerned, I think technology moves at a very rapid rate. Technologies on what were developed till the first decade of the 21st century, that is till 2010, is what we call the fifth generation fighter aircrafts, which have come about.
Yes.
Technologies which are presently being developed in the second decade of the 20th first century, that is from say 2010 onwards till 2020 and beyond, is what is going to be the core of the sixth generation aircraft. Simply put, the fifth generation aircraft is focused on stealth, radar stealth, noise stealth, and signature stealth.
Right, so that was, I think, a very comprehensive, information that you have given about firstly about your emergence as a maverick of Indian Air Force, various, development of LCA and what we can expect in the future. So if I may ask you, what would be your message to the aspirants wanting to join the Air Force, especially as fighter pilots?
Firstly, I personally feel fighter flying is extremely gratifying, and I think it's a very challenging profession. It is a profession where you feel so happy doing what exactly you intend to do. Let me tell you, to many people, flying becomes a job. It becomes like, I mean commercial flying, that's what I mean. But fighter flying is something unique. You don't mind doing it even on a Saturday or a Sunday or any day. I mean, it becomes some sort of a way of life where you are fully in with it. It involves a lot of studies on the ground. It involves a lot of gathering of knowledge on various systems and capabilities of the aircraft. And it involves focusing it all together to one primary purpose, that is to win. It's a sort of an attitude towards life, be it day or night, where you're fully focused towards every challenge that comes your way. And not only that, you're fully focused towards overcoming those challenges, irrespective of how complex they are. It's a way of life, and I will strongly advocate those of you who have this aptitude or who would like to go that way to definitely consider the Indian Air Force fighter flying as a way forward. I'm sure you will go ahead and achieve your dreams.